Hey, there's Jordan with Status Coup in Lansing, Michigan. The night shift. We are on the night shift here at the GM picket line. This is day 17 of the UAW auto strike against Ford, GM, Stellantis. This is day 3 in this location of their strike. This is General Motors Delta Assembly in Lansing, Michigan, which is right down the street. On Friday, the days are getting a little confused. On Friday, I was here. UAW President Shawn Fain came to this location, and this is one of the profitable plants for GM. I'm pretty sure GM's going to be seeing more plants go on strike pretty soon, because of all three companies, GM has been, let's just say, the most stubborn in making, a dignified, suitable offer. I'm here with Floyd. You've been here for about
3 years.
About 3 years. And talk to me, obviously, it's day 3 of this location strike, but talking to your colleagues, were you guys kind of ready to go, wanting to join the strike lines?
We've been ready to go. When this all went down, we thought we were going to all walk out, but we didn't. I understand the strategy that's going on, and it's like the NFL. We get drafted, first round, second round, we're third round, so there's going to be a lot more rounds coming up.
And I was talking to you guys before we went live. I'll tell you, it doesn't sound so good working at GM these days. A couple horror stories I've heard. Feel free, let loose, smash the like button, by the way, share this live stream. I think it's important to show you, by the way, the strike picket line. It's not always, a Woodstock concert. Some shifts, are less than others, but still important to be out here. The night shift, the weekend shift. On Friday, it was a lot more people, but, it's Sunday. People are watching football, people with their families, but people are still out here. And it's important to show you because these go pretty much 24/7. So you got times where it's packed, like midday, and then you got times at night when less people, but that's the dedication. People are out here, even at night on a Sunday, holding the signs, people honking. Tell me about kind of the morale before the strike. I know they've been pushing, do it faster. Productivity needs to go up, go up, go up.
Right.
Meanwhile, if people are passing out on the line, push them aside.
We especially in the summertime when it's really hot, people heat exhaustion, and it's just not a good thing in there. We got fans, they call them air circulators, but they don't really do too much circulating. And, you'll get people that just pass out, and then just roll them off, and the next one come up. Let's keep this line moving. It's all about production. We got to make these cars, make these vehicles, so the rich keep getting richer.
So is that what the GM CEO meant when she went on TV? Her salary, 92%, is based on the company performance, no matter how many people pass out on the line?
I think she said it was her performance, I think it was, right? But like I said, I come to work every day. I don't see her in my plant doing anything, but.
And for you, how long did it take, if you're at top pay, I don't know if you are, but how long were you a temp for?
I was a temp for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. I got caught in the continuous work, where that word, you have to be continuous for 2 years before you get hired in. I got caught 3 times, got laid off 3 times, got my insurance card once, made appointments on a Friday, couldn't get into a doctor because I got laid off on Thursday. So it was, I had a lot of people in my family around, my people that I know, that told me, hang it up, GM's not where you want to be. But, I stuck it out, and now I'm full-time, and, I try to look out for my temp fellows and sisters, brothers and sisters that's there. Tell them to hang out, just keep your head up. It's going to happen. This strike right here we're doing is for them. You know what I mean? You have people that's topped out. I'm not topped out, But, like I said, I don't plan on being at GM, forever, But.
And every time you got laid off, when you come back, the clock restarts. So the time you had doesn't. You're basically brand new again, temp worker.
Yeah, brand new temp worker.
Doesn't seem fair to me.
It's not. It's not. I feel like after 90 days of employment, an employer should know, yeah, we're going to keep you. If not, let me go, or let that person go. But no, that's how the game's played, with the big three, because they don't have to pay the wages, they don't have to do all the stuff that, full-timers, making right now 32, whatever an hour. I feel like at our facility, roughly a quarter of them maybe might be temps, if that, and they come in and they don't have the luxury of calling in or for sick days or whatever. They have to be there every day. When I was a temp, I remember in the wintertime, snowing, I had to use my car as a snow plow to get to work because I had to be at work, I get to work and then it was like, oh, we got X amount of people not here, so you can work 4 hours, you can go home, whatever. But I had to risk my life in this stuff to come to work.
Did you think, because people I've talked to at different plants in these communities, these are like the gold standard jobs, everybody wants the, if you get a job, I don't know, early 20s or whatever, you could be set. But when you got here, compared to what you thought it was going to be, what was the kind of surprise?
Well, like I said, my father-in-law retired from General Motors, and I was like, hey, Dad, I want to work at GM. And he's like, don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm like, why not? He was like, you don't want to work for those people. And I was like, but GM pays good, this, that, and the other. That's all you see. You see the profit sharing, people on the outside. See the profit sharing checks, see the big money that you make every hour or whatever. But they don't understand what you have to do when you're here to make that money. The sacrifice, the strain you put on your body. I got a lot of friends that new knees, the carpal tunnel. It's just crazy. It's horrible. I mean, you work all these hours and they don't care. 'Cause to them, it's all about how many cars can we get off the end of the line.
And that's what I find even most infuriating. I mean, you always get some assholes responding to unions, but a lot of them say, these union guys and girls are so lazy. It's like, this is literally like...
Walk a mile in my shoes. What's that guy, Jim Cramer, is that his name?
Oh, yeah, let loose. Feel free.
Piece of shit. He needs to bring his fat ass to Lansing and get in one of these plants over here and see how it feels. It's those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, right? And I feel like people who don't do what we do don't know how it is.
I don't know if you saw, but Jim Cramer, basically he compares the UAW president, Shawn Fain, to Trotsky. Thinks he's a communist for, daring to demand more from the companies. But he basically advised the companies, hey, if the UAW wants to play hardball, shut them down. Go to Mexico for a couple of years, see how they like it.
See how many people buy GM cars. See how many people buy big three cars, period. If they want to shut down and go someplace else like that, that's fine. Go ahead, do it. But I've owned GM cars my whole life. They do that, I will never buy a GM car again.
What do you think of obviously Jim Cramer is Jim Cramer, but you watch the media, local media, national media, it seems that it's very often regurgitating kind of the company line. You hear a lot of local media say, oh, how long is this going to hurt the economy? Oh, yeah, the GM.
Yeah, they pay those big bucks for those commercials, so they got to kind of keep, GM and Ford and Chrysler, Stellantis, happy. Don't rock the boat, Don't take the food out of the spoon that we're feeding you with,
So basically, the car company's advertising on local TV obviously influences the way they cover it.
Yeah, I feel that's what it is.
Tell me about, you were talking about people, I've talked to people with shoulder problems, back problems, knees, carpal tunnel. How's it been for you 3 years in?
Well, I'm 52 years old, got bad knees, walking on that hard cement floor all day long is tough. It's really bad. I talked to my doctor. He's like, yep, you're really close to a knee replacement. And my whole thing is when I retire, I want to be able to spend time with the wife, go places and do things, not be pushed around in a wheelchair, because the GM did this to me, It's rough. I mean, working conditions could be a lot better. I don't know how it was back before I got here, but I don't know. I just, sometimes I just shake my head when I see things that go on in the plant, the lack of care, they don't really care. I mean, the dude's having a heart attack right here, and we're just going to have him sit in his chair, but hey, next man up, you know, can we stop the line and, you know, whatever? You know, is that one car going to make or break what's her name's pocketbook?
Is there a lot of situations where workers pass out or are having, you know, serious issues that they don't stop the line?
I would say maybe in the summertime that could happen maybe once or twice a day.
Wow.
Sometimes even more. I had a buddy of mine that used to happen to him at least every day, but of course, you know, it's hot in there, you know. When it's 90-something degrees out here, we're about 103, 104 in there. Fans blowing your face, hot air, you know, it's just...
That's what I just find so disgusting, because it's also Amazon, which is $1 trillion company. When I was covering the Amazon union drive, the workers were describing literally workers were being carted out in stretchers from fainting, but the executive suites are nice and air conditioned. They were coming in hoodies in the summer because it was cold, but $1 billion company like GM can't get some working central AC. Yep. They're blowing fans instead of working AC.
I do that every day in the summertime. Like $1 billion company, and we got to sit here and sweat our asses off while a couple people upstairs are sitting in ACs drinking coffee in the middle of the summer because, you know, they can do that, and it's nice and cool up there. I go up there sometimes and just hang out and say, hey, this is what the people up here do, huh? Okay, you know.
Seems pretty, shall I say, exploitive.
Yeah. It's GM. It's life in the big three.
Now, let me ask you, because you hear a lot from, you know, people that not even people who mean to be being jerks, but they're like, if it, you know, why don't you go get another job if it's so bad? And I mean, I go around. There's not a lot of, you know, union jobs around town that can pay you decent health insurance, etc. Right. Tell me about, you know, if this is how they're treating people, why don't more people look elsewhere?
Lansing's been a GM town, right? So the gold standard, like you were saying back in the day, was working at General Motors, and we had Fisher Body and, you know, and all that stuff like that here. You know, you can make good money here, you know. And it's like, so like right across the street, you have Myers, you know. They don't pay that well. I mean, they're all right, but, you know, then UPS just signed that nice, juicy contract. So I was actually thinking about going there, you know, get rid of GM and go to, you know, UPS, but do something there, but a little easier on the body, you know. But like I said, a lot of people, there's not that many places around here that pays that type of money, you know. Not temp money, full-time money, you know what I mean?
And it's not like going to those places, the managers are that much nicer,
right,
that it's not the same dynamic in terms of productivity.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's Myers again. It is what it is, you know. If you don't like it, you know, there's always something out there different, you know. My whole thing is I had a job before I got here. I'll have one when I leave, you know. I only got to do like 10, 15 more years, then I'm out of here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But we're here on this line right now fighting for the next generation that's coming in, you know. And we got to make it right. You know, we gave up a lot back during the bankruptcy and stuff, and, you know, all this stuff was supposed to be given back to us. You know, if you don't get made to do it, you're not going to do it.
Remember, folks, this is day 17. We have been out here every single day. Do you see CNN out here every single day?
You see fat-ass Jim Cramer out here?
You see fat-ass Jim Cramer out here? And when the local media comes, what do? They talk to one worker, two if you're lucky, then they cut it down to 20 seconds on the nightly news because they don't want to ruffle the feathers, as Floyd mentioned, of their advertisers, GM, Ford, Stellantis. So we need you. If we could get about 15 to 20 new sign-ups every day, we could stay out on the ground. It's expensive, food, hotel, rent a car. You know the drill. So if you're new here, subscribe. And if you can, please sign up, statuscoup.com/join. I am very proud that, you know, everywhere we go, people come up and thank us. Because I don't even mean it arrogantly. It's just we're the only ones really covering it. I mean, I was live for 2.5 hours yesterday in Chicago. I mean, I was dying. It was so hot. I'm getting eaten up alive, actually, by whatever the hell's in the air here. But it's important, you know. I know most of the media cover things when it's new and exciting because that's when the most eyeballs are in. And then when something's going on for a while, like 17 days, they don't care anymore. We stay because it's important to get as many voices as possible out there. Because, workers of America, whether it's GM, Ford, Stellantis, anywhere, they're not getting quoted in the New York Times. They're not getting prominent interviews on CNN, for 20 minutes at a time. That's the media was literally purchased by corporations about 30 years ago. And that's part of why we have corporations basically using human beings as battering rams. So please support us. Smash that like button. Super chats are appreciated. Show folks still. Yeah. I don't know how many, maybe like 25 people here. But hey, it's 5:30, 6 o'clock on a Sunday night. It's pretty good. Pretty good when you got football on and people are hanging out with their kids and family dinner. And remember, they got to staff this 24/7, so it comes in shifts. Earlier in the day is a little busier, but they still got people out here at night. And it's not like these workers are on vacation. They're out here in the hot. They'll probably be out here in the cold because this is going to go on for a while. Let me also ask you about talking to all these workers. It really seems like they once were excited coming in, but now, other than kind of the family atmosphere, people are kind of just going through the motions, not as excited to do this kind of job.
You talking about working at GM? Yeah. I feel like if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't. I would have never left the job I had to come after being treated the way, the way we get treated. I wouldn't have done it. I would have stayed where I was at, Yes, less money, but, at least I'm not going home angry every day,
Does it affect, not to get personal, but obviously if you're getting burnt out at work, you're not treated well, you're not coming home cheery to your, wife or kids?
Sometimes, it carries over to the home life, and I try not to do that, but, you have bad days at work, and it's just a normal thing, and like I said, whenever I have a bad day at work, the one person that can calm me down is my wife, because she's the voice of reason, and I'm ready to just knock somebody out, and she said, well, hold on, just do it this way, talk, and then I got to talk to her for a little bit, and she'll put me on the right path, and then I get home, and then I have to vent a little more, because I hold on to stuff, right, and it's like, that's not good for you, so it's like I try to get rid of it before I get home, so that way, when I leave work, I want to leave work at home, leave work here, work at home. This is like my second home. I spend more time here than I do, I don't know.
And obviously this week was a big political parade. Biden was here, yep. Trump was here, Dr. Cornel West was here, Marianne Williamson was here. You've had Congress people show up to the line, senators. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter to me who you support, but I feel like these people show up when the cameras are here. Right. What are they doing the rest of the time? Right. Biden pushed all these trade deals. Yeah. Trump hasn't paid half of his workers for 40 years. Do you feel in general politicians have workers' backs in either party?
To be honest, I don't think so. Unless you do what we do, you wouldn't understand. You know what I mean? Politicians are looking for votes. Donald Trump, he's a billionaire. What does he know about work?
We think he's a billionaire. We don't know. Right, there's a lot of fraud going on. Anyway.
Right. Unless you do what we do on a regular basis every damn day, you can't relate. You know what I mean?
Well, I think also what people are starting to realize, the media and politicians, they like to talk so much about, record unemployment's so low, and this, GDP is good. But let's talk about the jobs that they're including. Mm-hmm. Sure, you might make decent wages, but they took away your pensions. Oh, yeah. You got this convoluted, weird bullshit system. There's like 25 different tiers. You can get laid off 3 times. And so, how strong are these jobs that they're including in this historic economy?
I don't think they are really that strong, because GM could pick up and go whenever they want, you know what I mean? Then that just destroys Lansing, there's 2 GM plants here in Lansing, we got 2,500 people at Delta. What is it like at LGR? 2,000 maybe. That's 4,500 people, and each one of us, you figure with Bridgewater and Ryder and all them down the street, for one of us, that's like 8 people, right? So you figure if they move, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It can destroy a whole community.
Yeah, it could.
And do you know a lot of workers at your place? Because I've talked to people that are driving 2 hours to work, an hour, because their plant got closed or this and that. That
promise, like, when your plant that you left gets back up and running, you can go back. And then when you get to your new plant that's about an hour away, and then you find out that your plant's hiring again, oh no, you got to stay for a year or 2 years or 6 months, whatever, before you can go back. And now you done lost your way to get back to where we got people coming from Flint, Detroit, Mackinac Island, all kind of places around here.
They're driving an hour and a half.
Hour and a half away. And in the wintertime, Michigan gets really bad winters, you know what I mean? So we start work at 6:30 on first shift. You got to leave at 4 o'clock in the morning to get here. Then you get home. You're maybe home 8 hours and do it all over again.
A lot of them are temps.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of them are temps.
I want to ask you about something. I wish this beautiful woman would join me because she was mentioning it. There seems to be some funky business with GM where people pass out on the line, people get sick on the line, people die on the line, and they say, yep, it happened in the ambulance going there. Or it didn't happen on the GM property because they don't want the health liability. Right. Do you know of situations where people have gotten hurt or died or sick on the job? But
me personally, I've known people that have gotten hurt, and to where they've we have little ambulances that drive around, pick up people, whatever, and they do that. I haven't seen anybody actually pass away, whatever, but I've heard of that type of stuff going on and stuff like that. So I can't really speak too much on the dying.
I've heard from certain workers that no matter what, even if it happens on the line, they'll do whatever they can to say, no, it didn't happen here. It happened there to avoid liability, which pretty messed up.
Yeah, if that's the case, yeah, I can see that we've been messed up,
Hey, can you tell people about the robot situation? Because it's interesting. You get laid off. Workers get shit on if, they got to go to the bathroom for too long, this and that. But apparently the robots are malfunctioning quite the time, quite a bit of the time.
Right. Yeah. So on my particular line, I'm a team leader. So I have 3 robots on my team, on my line, and they go down on a regular basis. And if anyone on my team made the line go down for any period of time, they would get talked to by a group leader or whatever. Robots go down. You call maintenance. 20 minutes later, they come out. 15 minutes later, they come out. But this is a regular thing. Robots go down all the time, and they use these robots because they feel like robots can work all day, every day, and can do the jobs that we do, which they can't, because when they can't tighten a bolt down, who fixed that bolt? I do. When seat gets messed up or a door gets messed up because of the robot, who fixed that? I do. I'm not a robot. I don't know. It's just that's just how GM is. They want to use robots and stuff like that to take out jobs that we can do, that we'll do.
Do you feel sometimes that they're treating you like a robot?
Oh yeah. They want me to be in 5 different places at one time. I can't do it. And they treat us like robots. The job is so mind-numbing. There's no thought to it. You just come in, you can almost go to sleep when your hands will start doing the motions by itself, because you do it so much every day,
It's like muscle memory.
Yeah, muscle memory, yep.
Let me ask you about the strike so far. Obviously, this is only day 3 for you guys, day 17. From what I was told today, no difference compared to Friday. Nothing's moved in terms of negotiations. This could go on for quite some time because you're not just dealing with one company. You're dealing with 3.
As long as it takes.
Tell me about that. As long as it takes, because obviously $500 a week is tough. It's going to strain people. A lot of people will have to pick up other jobs.
It will, but like when I started, when I first came in, my union told me, hey, we're going to be going in for contract negotiations. You get hired in full time. That first profit sharing check you get, save your money. Save your money. So that's what we do. We save our money. You know, some of us do, some of us don't, you know. But like I said, we're all a family, you know. We're here for each other. So in order, like I said, we take a little bit of pain now to make everything right later, you know. And I feel that's what we're going to end up having to do. We'll be here as long as it takes.
Let me read we got some love coming in here. $25 donation from Tim. Jordan, thank you to you and Miss Tina and John on covering UAW in Ohio and Flint, Michigan and West Virginia. Kant, Status, Lewis, and Colin. $25 from Tim D. Thank you, Tim. $50 from William. Go get 'em, Crew, enjoying the UAW coverage. It's historic, and it's great that you guys are covering it. We got another website member, Quinton, signed up. Thank you. Super Chats, Mike, $2. Teach, $2. Were you asked not to go back to Chicago? Do you think I would listen if somebody told me not to go back to Chicago? No. I left on my own accord. Honestly, I left Chicago because I'm also working on something Flint related, so I had to get back to Michigan. But no, we were in Chicago for 2.5 hours live. I mean, I can't be everywhere every day. I'm trying my best, but no, nobody asked us to leave Chicago. We were there yesterday. We might go back, but glasses come off. We can't go back to Chicago. We can't stay here. We can't stay anywhere if we don't get more member sign-ups. We need more people to sign up. StatusCoup.com/join. All I'm asking for is 16 cents a day. That's $5 a month is 16 cents a day. $10 a month is 33 cents a day. Now, for some people, they can't even afford that. I totally understand if that's the case. However, do some of you get like a $5 Frappuccino? Well, Frappuccinos are even more expensive. Do you get a $6 Frappuccino once a week? Cut it out. Give that to Status Coup. I'm sure there's something you spend $5 on a month or $10 on a month that could be reallocated to actual living, breathing journalism. Are you seeing a lot of living, breathing journalism on the picket lines?
No. I've seen one journalist, and he was here maybe 10 minutes. I've seen you longer than, you know, of course I follow you on YouTube, but I mean, I appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, honestly, to me, it's a very simple thing. Just let people talk.
Right.
You don't get that in the media these days. They have all these experts on. I mean, I remember when I was watching the beginning of this coverage, all these local outlets had auto experts on and stock people. Oh, they'll never get the cost of living back. That's gone. Oh, you got it back from Ford and Stellantis in 2 weeks. Yep. And I'm sure they've all been saying, no, you're not going to get any pension back. You're not going to end the tier system. Well, so far, it looks like you're going to get a lot of what you've asked for, which brings me to the next question. Obviously, there's a lot of workers that want it all plants at once. We were talking, you seem to like this strategy of kind of one at a time.
One at a time, you know, because we got to feed the fund to help the fund. You know what I mean?
Strike fund.
Strike fund, yeah. So if you took everybody out, you know, it'll last a couple months, whatever. But I feel like if we do it the way we're doing it now, if we had to take it to December, whatever, we can take it to December, you know. And like I said, we got to stand together, because in order to get what we need, no one's going to give us anything. We got to take it, you know, because they've been taken for years, and it's time to give it back, you know.
And it also seems like you kind of, I think people are thinking about it in terms of like the old days where it was just against one target. But if you're dealing with 3 different companies, it's 150,000 workers. So if you all go on strike all at once, that's $500 each worker. I mean, I think the president of the union in Chicago said that would last about 11 or 12 weeks. And I think the company would probably just wait it out at that point.
Right. I feel like that in the past, they probably would have done some of that, and I feel like they probably do that now. But, you know, doing it the way we're doing it now, strategically hitting targets, you know, shutting this down, shutting that down, you know, I feel like the big 3 aren't going to come to the table and really talk and be legit about it until you start hitting the pocketbook, you know. And, you know, unfortunately for our plant, you know, our cars on hand aren't as good as they would like it to be. So, I mean, you know, you got to hit them where the money is, you know, and truck plant could be next, engine plants, you never know.
What do you think? I know Ford is paying people $14 an hour. scabs. A lot of them are salaried employees. I don't know. I remember covering John Deere, and they brought in a lot of the suits to like drive forklifts. That did not end up so well.
Right.
There was injuries, accidents. Do you think that the people they're bringing in as scabs have the training, experience to do what you do?
So with the scab thing, you know, the skill set there isn't the same as what we do every day. You know, you're asking some people to drive fork trucks and stuff that don't drive fork trucks. You know, fix cars that normally don't fix cars. You know, and we're about quality. You know, and if you put cars out there that are not put together by the people that do it every day, that's skilled in that area, you know, quality is going to take a hit. You know, and you take a chance on getting recalls and this, that, and the other. I mean, is that what they want to do? I mean, I guess, but at the end of the day, it's going to hit the bottom line, and it's not our fault, you know.
And my last question for you: tell me, from people watching, what do you want from not only the local community but just all Americans watching right now? Polls say about 70 to 75% of Americans support you guys, but you know, everybody's got ADD. They move on to the next thing. What do you hope to see from you know, people all around the country in terms of supporting you?
I hope that everybody keeps their fingers on the pulse. You know, keep us in your thoughts and minds and stuff like that. You know, we're just out here at the end of the day trying to make a decent wage. You know, a good living. You know, 32 hours a work week would be nice, but you know, I understand that might be a stretch. But you know, we don't want to kill ourselves working every day and not having to show for it. You know, I have kids, I have grandkids, you know, I want to be able to spend time with them, you know, not spend time at what Chevy Traverse and the Buick Enclave and the Arcadia, you know.
Well, we should say, I mean, so many people I'm talking to work 6 days a week, so they only get 1 day off.
Yes, we do 2 on, 1 off. Yeah, we've been doing that for a while. And before I got here, they were doing 12-hour days. You know, 7 days a week, 6 days a week. You know, I couldn't imagine doing something like that. You know, that right there, that's a deal breaker for me, you know.
Well, nurses do that, but they usually get like 12 hours, 3 days, and then they get 2 or 3. Yeah, right.
Something like that. Yeah, that's not here. That's not here. They don't do that, you know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And let's share the pie.
Share the pie.
Share the pie. You got brothers and sisters. It's time together, 2023, and the pie, equal pay for all dollars, no tier workers, 401k, overtime after 8 hours, profit sharing, investment profit, vision, dental, medical, pension. By the way, the CEOs get most of this stuff. We should just say that.
Yeah.
The CEOs are getting most of that.
After they retire.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Let me just, I don't know if anyone else wants to talk, but we'll see. Anybody else want to talk? I don't bite. I promise. Anybody else want to talk? Share your stories? No? Okay. No? No takers? Okay. Let's see over here. Whew. Hey there.
Hi.
Anybody want to talk?
Sure, I'll talk for a little bit.
Awesome. What's your name?
Shawn.
Shawn? Jordan. How long you been with GM for?
I started in 2021. I worked in chassis. We worked as a temp. We got laid off within like a month or two of me being here. They reset all of our time.
Yeah.
They brought us back in October 2nd. That day is very important because it makes it 1 week short of getting our holiday pay for Christmas. Yep.
So it seems like I was just talking to Floyd over there that they lay off the temps, hire you back, it resets the clock. So, I mean, you could be working so much longer to reach that top rate.
I was a mild thing. There were people with 23 months that were reset, and they come back and they were told, sorry, you got to start all over. We can't guarantee you get hired. They just walked out the door. And I wonder why they have such high turnover of their temps. They don't treat them right.
And for you, what's the top reason you wanted to strike? Is it the tier system, wages?
It's the progression. It's the tier system. It's how they treat their temporary employees, that they have no clear way of getting hired in, because you could say 2 years, but then you took a month, we laid you off for a month, you got to start all over. And it's that company discretion to lay them off a month.
Yeah. It seems within their business model is just exploitation.
I'm just saying, it goes back to my great uncles. They were GM workers. My great grandparents were GM workers. They had the same problem when it was the 90-day structure. They would do you 89 days and then reset your clock.
Even back like 50, 60 years ago.
Yep. My great grandma was a Rosie the Riveter. She was working during World War II. I'm just saying that something needs to change because I'll say they treat you like family. They'll exploit you.
I wouldn't want family that's exploiting me. That's not good family.
It's generally how they see it. They treat you like their family where they can just not pay you to do work.
What do you think about the CEO going on TV a few weeks ago? She was asked why, if you're getting 34% more money, why shouldn't the workers? She gave some weird answer about, 92% of her salary is from the company's performance.
Her 92% of her salary is based on her stock buybacks.
There you go.
But she's out of touch. She has never worked paycheck to paycheck. She is sitting there high in the hog, not understanding the day-to-day struggles of these employees who can't even buy the cars that they build.
And for you, how's it been? You seem relatively young. Inflation, gas, has it been tough?
It's been tough. It's increased. From the time I started working here to now, the cars we built have gone up by $25,000.
But your wages have.
My wages have definitely not. I've had less buying power than I've had when I started here. And I was making a lot less then.
Is there other options for you, like better jobs, other union jobs around here?
Well, union jobs around here, probably not. But I could go to a different career, but that's a thing where you start from the very bottom again. You got to work all your way back up.
And how many days a week do you generally work?
I work 5 to 6, 2 Saturdays on, 1 Saturday off.
Makes it hard to kind of schedule things, have a life.
It's hard to get a doctor's appointment, let alone, take care of the things you need to do around your properties or whatever.
Right. And do you feel, currently, obviously, I'd say 43 plants are on strike. Do you like the current strategy of kind of slowly but surely, or do you want to see all of them all at once?
Well, if I had to go by my adrenaline, I was ready for everybody to walk out, but it is a smarter strategy than just going all in and hoping those 12 weeks were enough to pressure them.
Right. Do you think you hear so much in the media, politicians say the economy is doing well, unemployment's low, but I think we're learning through talking to workers that the economy seems to be kind of smoke and mirrors.
Well, I've had different careers where I've been in lower salary jobs, and you know what? You didn't make anything there either. So the only ones who are making anything are the 1%.
And lastly, tell me about, obviously, the companies right now. GM seems to be the most stubborn between all three, but they're making it out like the UAW is going to bankrupt us with these excessive demands. The UAW is going to hurt the economy. The Ford CEO went up on a press conference and was basically asking for a violin. Do you feel like the companies are basically hoping that, they just get a boost from media propaganda, or do you think that they're going to eventually sweeten their offers?
They'll eventually sweeten the offers because we're going to make them. But right now, they believe that they can just say the same union busting things on TV that they've always said and expect us to take it. At least this time, we got ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. What's your name again?
Shawn Austin.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Jordan. There you go. And I'm glad he mentioned the stock buybacks because the media barely even addresses. Stock buybacks, that used to be illegal. You could thank Ronald Reagan among the other terrible things he did. Ronald Reagan legalized stock buybacks, which is just market manipulation. That's all it is. And that's how Mary Barra and company, get to make $30 million by juicing up the stock price. Oh, motherfucker. Hold on. My Moses mic. All right. $5 from Elisa. Great coverage on UAW. Also, if John ever comes to the Midwest, I am an eligible person too. Well, that's breaking news, Elisa. We are info@statuscoup.com. I'm playing matchmaking. I'm happily married. So I'm happily married. This is matchmaking for John. But yes, John is eligible. But he has to eat better. I mean, not that I'm so healthy, but this guy doesn't eat any greens. He eats shit. But maybe a good woman would really, put him on the right track. So Elisa, she's in the Midwest and eligible. $50 from Stone. I'm not really fond of some of your ideas. Thank you. But I hate liars and people who follow the status quo. We need more than a coup, and at least you and your staff are free. As long as you are not bought by corporations and beholden to anyone, I see you as a warrior who has courage for the truth without bias. We need truth and exposure. People can make their own decisions if they know the reality. Right now, people's eyes are open wide shut. You are a reporter. College is no longer making them. Thank you for your service. Thank you, Stone. And I really like that because, to tell you the truth, I think the internet has become a real cesspool, and I think specifically on YouTube, I mean, everybody, oh my God, if you don't agree with each other, I got to unsubscribe. I don't agree with you. Or you said something I don't like. Or you're not feeding me exactly what I believe, so I'm not going to support you. And here you have somebody saying, I don't agree with all your ideas, but I like that you're out there and covering this and telling the truth. It is not a prerequisite to agree with everything, a reporter believes or anybody online, on YouTube or on TV. We don't have to agree at all times. But I think the fact that you appreciate what we're doing and that we're out here on the ground, it shows that if you want, basically, I don't think it is good for the information system to only want to consume things or only want to listen to people who are telling you exactly what you want to hear. It's okay to have some different opinions from time to time. But I will tell you, we might have different opinions, but I could promise you one thing. There is no one in this country or no outlet in this country that covers the amount of stories we cover that the mainstream media covers up. Because this ain't my first rodeo. It's not John's first rodeo. I covered the John Deere strikes. We covered the Amazon union campaign a year before they won. All these reporters came out when they won and acted like, oh, we've been here the whole time. None of those fuckers were out there at the Staten Island warehouse a year before. I was. We went there 7 or 8 times. We covered the Starbucks union campaign before they were victorious. We've covered nurses' strikes. I've covered Flint for 8 years. They still don't have clean water in Flint. So we are about being there on the ground. And you don't have to agree with every political opinion of someone. And that's what I think is so important about unions and the labor movement. The labor movement is not a left-wing thing. It's not a right-wing thing. It's not a libertarian thing. It's not a hippie thing. It's not a, Archie Bunker thing. It is a working class thing. And the working class encompasses lefties. It encompasses right-wingers. It encompasses libertarians. It encompasses tree-hugging environmentalists. It encompasses people who don't give a fuck about politics. So to me, labor unions and this coverage is not about being a progressive, which I am, or being a conservative, or it doesn't matter. There are people who voted for Trump that work in UAW. People who voted for Bernie who work in the UAW. There's people who probably don't vote. But this is not a political thing. Obviously, the media was trying to make it a political thing. Biden versus Trump, who's going to get the UAW? Well, I hope most UAW workers realize that all these fucking politicians are selling you down the river. I don't care if Biden said a few nice words. Credit to him for coming. But I care more about actions than I do your words. And the actions of Biden and Republicans of the last 30 years have been to screw these workers and then to present to them, what do they say? Try to, sell something as gold. I mean, they've pushed NAFTA, they've pushed TPP, all these trade deals that allowed these companies to just screw the workers. I think we got more. YouTube members. We got 2 new YouTube members. Audio Funk Dialect. Awesome. Naif Alami. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Naif Alami. Thank you for signing up. I think, if I'm counting it right, we must have about 15, 16 new members today. between the website and YouTube, which is awesome because I am pretty damn tired, if I'm being honest. We've been driving all day. Yesterday we were live for almost 3 hours. We've been driving from Illinois here, and tomorrow I don't know where we're going to be. Actually, we'll see where we're going to be. We might head back to Toledo. We might head to other parts of Michigan. So we'll just see. And honestly, I think the beauty of this is you just don't know. There could be an announcement tomorrow, Tuesday, that they're going out with more plants. So it is kind of unpredictable. Right now, it's 43 plants, 25,000 workers, but in a few days, it could be more than that. But we're going to try to stay out here as long as possible. But as I've been saying, to stay out here, we really need to hit that target of between 15 and 20 new members every single day. If you sign up at $5 a month, you could sign up at $10 a month. As I always I try to break it down. $5 a month is 16 cents a day. $10 a month is 33 cents a day. It keeps us out here. And you know what? I try to keep it fresh, but the truth is sometimes you're going to hear similar things because all these workers are going through a lot of the same thing. And a lot of time it's going to be similar questions because, I can't reinvent the wheel. I can't reinvent the wheel from the picket line constantly. But I think in this case, hearing similar things is important because I think we need to drill into people's hands that this is your great economy. With these workers, they're being treated like robots. In many cases, they're being treated like sheep. And that's what we need to get across, that this is the American dream, working yourself to death, getting laid off 3 or 4 times, and then having to come back and restart the clock because companies are allowed to take advantage and hire you as temps for 25 years. It's absurd. It's absurd. And none of these wealthy, privileged CEOs would stand for it if it was their kid, if it was their grandkid. Oh, no, they wouldn't allow their kid or their grandkid to be a temp worker for 8 years. They wouldn't allow their grandkids to be a temp worker for 8 minutes. Before we close down, let me read some others here. Okay, I got you. Quentin, Mindy, Kim, Doug, Malcolm. So a couple new members on the website today and the YouTube members. Let me get in the chat before I close down. We got almost 400 people watching. Awesome. Janice says guillotine. I hope not for me. Sid just signed up as a YouTube member. Now we're moving, baby. Hold on. Is that what you just sent me? And by the way, let's give it up for Colin. He's not on this trip, but he is working. He's worked all 17 days with us, helping us with the tech and all that. So new YouTube member Sid signed up. Super chat Dave, $5. The way Clinton put it about the left and the unions was they've got nowhere else to go. Well, Mr. Bill Clinton, thank you for reminding me of that. Apparently they do have somewhere else to go, and that's to the picket line, because the labor unions are using the one power they have, and that is the ability to go on strike. And let me be clear, the reason that I find it really important to cover this, it's not a coincidence when you see that chart that started in the late 70s and the early 80s, where all the money got stolen and is going to the top. It's not a coincidence that that chart, as it climbs up, you know what climbed down? The percentage of unionized workers. So they took a battering ram. When I say they, I'm talking about Republicans who then got help from Democrats. All their fucking corporate donors that bought government. Special interests like the Koch brothers, Walmart, the Waltons, all of them. They bought off the politicians so that the politicians would union bust. And as union power dramatically decreased over the last 40 years, wages stayed flat, but the wealth went all the way to the rich. That is what we call, I don't even like the term income inequality. It's too academic. It's a massive 40-year bank robbery where these workers' money is being stolen by Jim Farley and Mary Barra and the Stellantis CEO. The local media won't say it because they're supposed to be neutral. They're not neutral. They work for the fucking corporations. Okay, I'm glad Floyd brought it up because GM advertises on all these local news. Stellantis, Ford, Walmart, Amazon, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs. I could go on and on. No wonder these local outlets don't tell the truth. Anyway, I'm a little tired. John's a little tired. It's been a long day. Thank you to all the people who have donated. Thank you to the people who have been watching. Please spread this around. It doesn't matter if your friends or family are lefties or righties. It doesn't even matter if they're into politics. Spread this, because I think most people are supporting the workers. Most people, you got 75% of people are supporting the UAW in this. And I think more people need to see this, because it's not just about, in my opinion, it's not just about UAW. It's not just about the auto workers. Workers in so many other industries are experiencing similar things. So they need to know they're not alone. Thank you very much. Again, we'll be back live tomorrow. I'm not sure where. Sign up for our Substack, by the way, which you could sign up for free. That's StatusCoup.substack.com. StatusCoup.substack.com. So you'll get an email when we go live, so you'll know. We're on we're on whatever it's called now, X. We're on there, @Status Coup. Follow us there. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere. Instagram, you name it. Thank you. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Oh, yeah, come on. Floyd doesn't want me to go home.
I just want to say go blue.